What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Dynasty Daddy YouTube channel. Today we're looking at the Dynasty Daddy trade database with over 4.2 million trades and seeing what trends are happening on the Dynasty streets right now and which players are we buying, selling, panicking on, what hype trains are we boarding, all of that. If you have your own questions and want us to answer them, check out our live every Tuesday night 9 p.m. Eastern trade show. We just break down the trades, all of that. And this week we're going to be doing a redraft of all the rookies just to spice it up a little bit. So definitely stop on by.
First player we're going to take a look at on the Fantasy Football trade database is going to be AJ Brown, one of the most traded players, 4,664 trades in the past week. We're going to be taking a look at trades that just happened in the past 2 days, so just after this most recent week. This first one here, 12-team start 11, full PPR, 0.510 in premium. Jeremy Chase Brown, AJ Brown, 2 disappointing contending assets, or Kyle Pitts, a 27 first and second.
For me, the only way I could see this deal potentially going to pit size is if that 27 first is locked in as an early first. Chase Brown, AJ Brown is still too much value. And the tight end premium is not enough for me to be excited about Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I will say that this kind of move, if I'm sending away a first and a second, and we're getting some Kyle Pitts resurgence, I don't want to totally brush him off in a 0.5 tight end premium, but I agree, not a big enough tight end premium for me to really want to push in for Kyle Pitts types. Man, if I'm making this kind of contending type move, I would want to feel a lot safer about one of these assets just for contending for this year. And I don't think that Chase Brown or AJ Brown, in that matter, are necessarily dead contending assets after this year, just based off of the season's gone. For the Bengals, maybe we'll see a QB trade here saving the season. I agree. I think these pieces, regardless of what happens with the Bengals over the next couple seasons, are going to feel stronger than a first and a second. It is a 12-team start 11, so you feel a little bit better about getting those picks. So I think this kind of move, if your season's lost, you have AJ Brown, Chase Brown, and nothing else, and a team comes knocking on your door with a young, resurging tight end, a first and a second, I kind of like that move, just getting off these pieces if you feel the need to for that team. But I guess I'm probably still taking the Browns. Not feeling great about it, but doing it. All right, next up here, we've got a 12-team start 10, full PPR, 0.5 tight end premium, Jordan Mason and a second, or AJ Brown and a third.
I get the panic around AJ Brown. I'm not that low on him. I still believe in the talent of AJ Brown. That offensive situation is obviously inconsistent, so it's hard to feel confident locking AJ Brown in. But I mean, Jordan Mason, it's not something where I'm like, oh, I really need that type of player.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about it much in the first trade, but I think AJ Brown, after the first week, obviously 1 target, 1 reception, 8 yards. Mm-hmm. That was, hitting the panic button. But since that point, I know the production, we've had one amazing week, that third week against the Rams, but 8, 10, 9, 8 targets. We saw the Eagles turn pretty pass heavy. I don't want to get too excited about the Eagles passing offense and the season's going to get turned around, pass first team. It's going to be inconsistent, but I think AJ Brown, the talent, regardless, is not worth trading away for Mason in a second, who even Mason with the perfect run out of the Aaron Jones injury, you got Carson Wentz at quarterback there, not much of a receiving weapon. So I think the production, you're not going to feel that much better about it versus AJ Brown in the nuts run out. And you still get the AJ Brown contending asset. And we'll talk about it with some of these other trades, but players like AJ Brown, if AJ Brown gives you 2 or 3 smash weeks, he's right back there with the first that you can get for him. All right, next player we're looking at, Jacory, Croskey-Merritt. Bill, we had the breakout game, 14 for 111, looking pretty good, had the scores as well. Got this one, 10-team, start 10, full PPR, 0.5 10 in premium. T. Higgins and Tajay Spears, or Jacory, Croskey-Merritt.
I mean, obviously, JCM had an amazing week last week. It's crazy that the price point is T plus in this type of deal. I think I'd still probably lean the T plus side, but I also would consider it somewhat fair because the usage that we're seeing from JCM here, I don't necessarily know if we'll always see JCM with the usage he had. So if I can get a T Higgins plus for him, even though T is in a difficult offensive situation right now, I feel like that's certainly great value that I wouldn't really regret it if JCM really became a top 15 dynasty running back long term.
There was kind of the Bill rug pull a little bit at the start of the season. You got the nice run out with the Eckler injury, the B-Rob trade. Then you saw the Chris Rodriguez healthy scratches into active and kind of feeling like he's taking over that starter role, at least from a carry standpoint. But it was nice to see in this first game with Jaden Daniels back, seeing nice usage from Bill. The draft capital starts to matter a lot less when you play the way Bill has played. But with all that being said, I think T. Higgins plus feels a little rich even after this breakout. But this is probably the Bill price, honestly. If you want to get Bill, off of another manager's team. And Tajay Spears is not a nothing plus. We've seen, obviously coming back from the injury, the Titans offense is not looking great, but we've seen him with the Tony Pollard injury last season be productive. And those are the kind of running backs that I like adding as pluses onto these kind of deals. So I like the Teague inside.
I think JCM kind of has the ceiling of like an Isaiah Pacheco. 7th round pick, a lot of hype, comes in, wins the backfield, dominates. But we all kind of knew what the Pacheco ceiling was. And I think that's probably what the ceiling of JCM will be, unless if he just adds something insane to his game and becomes like this elite receiving back as well.
Next up here, go right into it. 12-team start 9, pretty shallow league. 0.5 tight end premium. Are you trading away 26 first for Bill in a second?
I think I'd probably take the Bill in a second side, but I'm curious if it's a late second, like if it was like the best 1 or 2 teams in the league, and then it was like a early to mid first. I think I'd probably lean the first at that side. It is a shallow league, so it's like JCM would really have to be, even if he hits as like RB30, that doesn't really matter a ton in a shallower league. So getting a shot on like a top end guy in 2026 might be worth it. But given the information I have, I probably just take JCM in a second.
I'm probably taking the Bill in the second side. It's just more fun, honestly, is another part of it than the 26 first. And I'm not too down on the 26 class. Like I feel like a lot of people are looking ahead to 27 just with some of these wide receiver prospects. Yeah, without knowing these picks, if we're kind of assuming kind of like a base mid first, mid second for both, I'm fine taking the Bill in a second. I think, let's say this was Travion Henderson that had the week Bill just had, 14 for 111, a score. You're taking this all day, any day. So I don't want to get too down on the draft capital when the production looks like what should have been second, third round running back. All right, next up here, we've got Ladd, McConkey. Other disappointing, contending young asset just in terms of, the Quentin Johnston breakout, what we've seen from Keenan Allen as well. This first one here, shallow, 10-team start 9, 0.5 tight end premium. Ladd McConkey in at 26th third. Or J.K. Dobbins and Khalil Shakir. Pretty shallow league. In some of these shallows, you want the best player. Contending aspect of it, you might slightly give a nod to J.K. Dobbins and Khalil Shakir. And I think the J.K. Dobbins, potentially is working himself into, a short extension with Denver the way he's playing. And, R.J. Harvey, I think we're all waiting for the breakout. But I think this might just end up being a exciting but gross 50-50 type split. I don't think it's enough firepower on the J.K. Shakir side, even though I like J.K. Dobbins to move Ladd, even though he's been disappointing to start the season.
Yeah, I think the big thing here is a shallow league, so only about 90 players start a week. That being said, it's not like I'm trading Ladd McConkey for some borderline elite production, so I'd rather probably ride with the young wide receiver in a high caliber passing offense. There's certainly concerns with the offensive line, especially with Becton going down, and it's like how many more injuries can they take, and then Hampton going down. So I do imagine this offense will not be as efficient and kind of become grosser than what we saw from the first couple weeks, but still just Ladd McConkey is much more insulated than a J.K. Dobbins, a Khalil Shakir. Dobbins could still lose some of that backfield to Harvey as things go. And then Khalil Shakir, we know what he is. He's decent, but it's not something that's in a 10-team start 9. I can, it's not irreplaceable.
Next up here, we've got 12-team start 10, 0.5 tight end premium, Ladd McConkey or Kincaid, and a first. I think this one definitely closer, 0.5 tight end premium. The Kincaid route stuff, say what you will, I feel like we're kind of in the same type of situation that he's been from like a route share perspective for the past couple seasons. But obviously the production has been there this year. And you are getting the first for the bet. 12-team start 10. I am a Ladd guy, but getting Kincaid, get a little bit of a reroll. Like I would be buying Ladd for a first. I think in the like Chargers pass rate stuff, anytime you have like small sample sizes, I believe in the talent enough, I think, to make this kind of bet. So I'm probably leaning the Ladd side, and a little bit is just a bet on like the player itself. We talked about it with AJ Brown a little bit. Like let's say Keenan Allen gets hurt for 2 games and Ladd goes 8 for 80 and 7 for 90 in a score. Like you're getting more than Kincaid in a first for Ladd. So I'm usually making those kind of bets on talent I believe in, but I think this one's pretty close.
Yeah, I think it's close, but for me, I'd probably just go with the reroll, especially in the tight end premium league. It is full PPR, so the tight end premium isn't super impactful, but Kincaid is someone I can just slot in, not really have to worry about tight end. And I get a first, I can re-roll into another wide receiver that will slot into the value that Ladd probably will have.
All right, next up, we've got Woody Marks. We had the breakout and then kind of the breakout rug pull. but as a member of Woody's Roundup, Jeremy, I wanted to make sure that he was involved in this video. So we'll start here.
Every video
From now on. 10 team.
Every video has to have a Woody Marks.
10 teams start 10, 0.75 tight end premium. Woody Marks and K. Dotton or Terry McLaurin. And it sounds like we are going to be getting Terry potentially back this week. What side are you taking here?
So, I mean, there's a decent tight end premium. It is a 10-team start 10. That's another thing to consider. It's a much more shallow league. I think I probably lean the Terry side, especially if I'm trying to win, because I do think Terry will give me more meaningful production now that I can rely on. While we have seen some good things from Woody, it's not going to be consistent enough to where, some weeks we're going to have last week, and then some weeks we're going to have 2 weeks ago where he scores 20-something points. It's like, I can't rely on that as much as I can rely on Terry McLaurin in a full PPR league. Unless if I'm like in a deep rebuild, give me Terry. I assume I can win more games in a 10-team start 10.
Dang, I'm surprised. Thought you would go the Woody side. And actually, I'm going to lean the Woody side. And it's a little bit of it's an upside bet for sure. I think if Woody would have came out, and it is disappointing because this felt like the perfect game script for the Woody breakout. I mean, 7 carries for 24 yards in this last game. Nick Chubb, I think, will be a thorn in his side. Say what you will. I think we get excited about rookie running backs, and rightfully so. But Nick Chubb has not been bad enough to be totally relegated to only short yardage. He's looked decent. The Joe Mixon stuff has been a mystery. And I think I'm just going to make the bet on the upside of Woody, especially in a 10-team start 10, where I feel like I can find Terry McLaurin replacements that could give me 70-80% production, especially with the Debo breakout. I do like that offense, but I think I'm just going to make a bet on the upside because, man, if Woody would have came out and repeated last week, obviously not repeated fully, but the snap percentage went up. He got, 14, 15 carries and a couple receptions. You're getting, I think, firsts straight up for Woody from some teams. So I'm going to make that bet. Next up here, 12-team start 10, full PPR, and a full tight end premium. And that's important for this one. We've got Mason Taylor or Woody Marks straight up. We take it.
Why'd you gotta pick these trades for Woody? I imagine in a league like this with double PPR, tight ends are probably pretty valuable. And the fact that Mason Taylor had good usage at the tight end position, sure, the offense isn't great, but he also has great draft capital behind him. I kind of lean just the Mason Taylor side of, I assume a young rookie that has crazy usage in a high value tight end premium league has a much higher ceiling and also can score me a lot more points, whether it be in the tight end spot or in the flex spots, than someone like Woody, where I still have to kind of wait and pick and choose his breakout spots.
Yeah, rookie tight end production is really hard. It isn't always a shoe-in that they're, immediately going to jump to 70-80% snaps and be running most of the routes. And seeing Mason Taylor fill in that role and give the production, I'm going to go that side. I don't think you have to have an upside conversation with both of these guys because I think at a full point tight end premium, Mason Taylor carries that same kind of, oh my gosh, I'll trade a first straight up for this guy type of production. So I'll take the Mason Taylor side. We've seen some wild Justin Fields passing numbers in the fourth quarter of games, but I think a lot of people will talk themselves into, now I've done it my entire life with Breece Hall, that the quarterback offense improving in the future, you can extrapolate this production, multiply it times 2 when they get a real quarterback in there. So I think it's a Mason Taylor side. All right, next up here, King Henry. Some disappointing performances. The game was saved a little bit this last one with the touchdown, but wasn't expecting much in the Cooper rush versus the Texans defense. And we've seen it through
Cowboys legend.
we haven't seen it that much with the Ravens, this team that's been great the past couple seasons that Derrick Henry's been there. Yeah, when they are behind, the Justice Hill usage gets bumped up. They're using other running backs, and Derrick Henry can't just run over all these teams. 10-team start 10, non-PPR, standard league. I mean, this is where you want to buy Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
a second, a third, and a fourth. Are you sending that in a 10-team start 10?
I probably still lean Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry to me is someone that's if I have him at this point, I'm just going down. Going down with the ship. It's hard to bet against him unless if I'm getting a good bailout price. And for a second, third, fourth, shallow league, no PPR, even if he's not performing well, it's still Derrick Henry, and he still can single-handedly win you a week when you're only starting 10 players in a 10-team league.
Yeah, I think the other thing to consider in this type of league is what could those second, thirds, and fourths realistically turn into production-wise in a 10-team start 10 in a non-PPR league? Those fun wide receiver bets where we're like, oh, let's go. This guy got, 4 for 40. That's so exciting for this rookie.
Mitchell.
Yeah, that's 4 points, man. Versus the upside that Derrick Henry can give you. So I think in these standard leagues, I think any kind of seconds, thirds that I have to pitch in together to get Derrick Henry, I'm happily doing that. All right, this next one. Rashard Smith or TJ Hawkinson versus Derrick Henry. 12-team, start 11, half PPR, but 1.5 tight end premium. Massive tight end premium. Is it just the tight end side? I mean, say what you will about the TJ Hawkinson production we've seen up until this point. Would you just take the 1.5 tight end premium for a tight end you think is going to have this role for the next couple seasons?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just simply the tight end premium is 2 points per catch for a tight end, and it's 0.5 for everyone else.
Yeah.
So for me, yeah, certainly it's just the value of that scoring format. If it is a 0.5 tight end premium though, or like even a 1, would that shift how you view a type of trade like this for TJ Hawkinson for Henry?
Yeah, I think, if it was like 0.75 or full point tight end premium, I'm still probably leaning the Hawkinson Rashard Smith side. I mean, we haven't seen the usage for Smith. I feel like we've heard all the coach talk, the Patrick Mahomes talk about, fun receiving weapon, get him out in space. That makes you feel like we're going to see the breakout coming soon. But I think those are kind of sneaky deals when you're moving off of a Derrick Henry for underperforming-ish tight end, or everyone feels like is going to be terrible this season, just looking at the, Addison return and JJ McCarthy coming back. So I would happily take that kind of bet for that kind of sneaky plus of getting Rashard Smith, like a fun rookie. I would do that to move off of Derrick Henry, but mostly if it was close to a full point.
That wraps up this week's video. Again, thanks for stopping by. And obviously, it's a fun time of the season. It's the day trading weeks where everyone has their takes. Everyone's trying to sneak their way into the playoffs. If you have your own players that you're scared about, feel free to check out our trade show every week. That's the best place to get our feedback. Fire off some chat comments on our live stream and we'll hit them. And until next time, peace.